Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between BekHo versus Jsung here on Shattered Temple. Jsung spawning as the red Zerg player. Meanwhile, we have BekHo who is on Korea Pro's account playing as the blue Terran. So this is going to be Terran versus Zerg here on Shattered Temple. It is going to be cross spawns, and we'll see how this particular game goes and what happens in this particular game. I did cast another game between these two players on the same map. The spawning locations were a little bit different, and we'll see how this particular game unfolds compared to that one. I think that game was on Machinima Realm. This game I most likely will be placing on my own channel. Now, BekHo, I'm just doing the standard build order, and I'm curious as to what build order Jsung will be trying to go for. Jsung, after he scouts out and knows that there is no Terran player here, he has a 50-50 shot of whether or not his opponent has spawned here or not. Because of that, he may not try to go for a hatchery on the low ground, but taking a look back at his base right now, he is looking to move out with a drone. That drone I think is a little bit early, and I think it is just going to be a scouting drone as opposed to anything else. As he now goes into 15/18 food, it looks like he will be going for a hatchery in just a moment. There you go, making his way out with that drone, and he will be expanding very early here on Shattered Temple. Barracks and refinery currently coming into play. I believe that drone will be able to stick his head into the base just as the Marine is about to pop out. That's what I think the timing is based upon the walking distance on that drone versus the building time on this barracks plus the training on that Marine. SCV also going to move out and do some scouting as well, and it looks as though, yeah, as long as he trains up that Marine right then and there and also upgrades to an orbital command, Marines do train rather quickly. Only 25 seconds in order to train a Marine. I believe Zerglings take a little bit longer at 27 seconds as an SCV now attempting to build that front door of the drone, getting some damage there, but really shouldn't be able to get that much mileage as a Marine going to quickly come over and start shooting at that one particular drone, and that drone, may get forced to die, or may die here. He is sitting at 6 hit points, one more natural regeneration for at least for the save for just a moment, as that Marine losing sight of this one drone for a split second. However, a fresh Marine now coming out may just get 2 shots off, and that was a little bit of a misplay by Jsung. Jsung, knowing that Marines do come out of barracks, but still decided to run a drone by that barracks there and got taken down. BekHo now sitting inside his base. He may be going for a factory in just a moment. He does have a large amount of gas, but he's not doing anything with that gas just quite yet. He's actually opting to expand first, which is a pretty strange opening since he did get that gas. But it appears as though Jsung, after seeing that there is a spine crawler and natural defense being built over here, he wants to be able to get his expansion up as quickly as possible. And now it looks as though he is going to be training up Marauders. Reaper. So it is going to be a Reaper followed by another barracks. So he is not really utilizing his gas all that much, especially consider that he does have 4 SCVs on his refinery instead of the standard 3. SCV now trying to run away from those Zerglings, and it looks like he will be able to escape for just a moment. Zerglings are coming by, and they will see that there is an expansion attempt underway. The Reaper now here on that high ground. Is he going to be able to perhaps poke apart those Zerglings? One Zergling being left behind at that Zelnaga watchtower. Nothing that one Reaper cannot handle. 2 shots, down it goes, as the Zerglings now continue to run across the map. Reaper does have the same movement speed as a Zergling, except for when that Zergling is on creep. The Reaper now jumping up onto the high ground, and he's going to now start getting some damage onto those Zerglings. It looks like he will be able to rack up more and more kills. He has already up to 3 kills. That Queen now, I'm looking to come over and get some damage, and now wanting to get some kills onto a drone. It looks like a drone will get taken down. Down it goes, and then doing a nice long jump. I haven't seen whether or not players have effectively used that long jump ability on a Reaper. That Reaper, while it's jumping, its animation actually moves a little bit more quickly, I believe. Taking down a creep tumor, denying 25 energy. So he was actually able to jump from, I believe, here to here in a very, very short amount of time. And the Reaper now being forced to run away. It looks like it will have to run all the way home, as this one Queen down over here will be able to come in and get that slash pretty easily. Yeah, there it is. There's that slash, and down it goes. So the Reaper getting a little bit cocky and a little bit too aggressive. Perhaps should have returned with that Reaper. Reapers are expensive units, that deal a significant amount of damage and are able to shut down Zerglings very, very easily. Zerglings now moving across the map as an overlord and sitting over here making sure that there isn't any dropship play. And still, we are a couple minutes into this game and I still don't see a factory. This is a really, really strange. Only mass tier 1. The Zerglings now trying to run by will be able to get in. One Marauder now gonna perhaps get some damage onto those one particular Zerglings over there. 2 SCVs already taken down. The Mule now trying to run away as that Marauder could just be able to get even more and more damage, and Marines now making their way off over here, hunting for those Zerglings. Zerglings have nowhere to hide. Now, Jsung is also going into an infestation pit, and that infestation pit is a very smart move considering we see a triple Rax build coming in from BekHo. We finally do have a factory, but we may just follow it up with a quick starport and not go for siege tanks. If you did not know, Infestors are much, much more powerful after the patch because they have a much higher DPS on their fungal growth. Their fungal growth, a combination of Ensnare and Plague from StarCraft Brood War, except that it is better than both in that the fungal growth actually stops a unit, not just slows him down, and unlike Plague, fungal growth can actually kill a unit. So yeah, and the 2 for 2, they're much better. Fungal growth is a very, very powerful ability. Some players, or some people, especially Terran players recently, have been saying that it's broken or overpowered. I won't get into that argument there. We'll see what happens from the high level control. If the pros aren't able to use it and abuse it, then it most likely doesn't need to be fixed. But we'll see what happens in the upcoming tournaments and GSLs. Both players just sitting inside their base. We are teching the tier 2. Jsung opting to upgrade his layer to tier 2 at, over here at the natural expansion to give it more hit points, as that is the easier target to take down. We are also going into double evolution chamber and 6 infestors. Infestors are going to be very difficult and very tricky to get around, as that fungal growth, those infestors automatically will have starting 75 energy because of those pathogen glands. And coming out with a fungal growth, it deals a lot of damage very, very early on. Jsung now just about to get this hatchery up and running, will be running off of 3 bases as another Reaper looks to move across the map. The Reaper now sitting, or able to deal even more damage as it moves across the map now, perhaps looking to shut down this hatchery. I do not think it will be able to shut down that hatchery at all. Yeah, only 33 damage per attack. The Reaper does deal a significant amount of damage, but it does have a rather slow attack rate, and reinforcement should be coming in. Yeah, a sea of Zerglings now surrounding and taking down that Reaper. Back over here, destructible rocks starting to get cleared. Very important. Jsung wants to make sure that he can get into this top left-hand expansion as quickly as possible if need be, as we also see Jsung attempting to clear out this expansion as well. So if a scanner sweep were to reveal this location, BekHo would not think to actually look into this location either. We are going into a double spine crawlers, no spore crawlers, as we haven't seen any banshees yet, but more and more infestors are still being added to this army. Infestors move very quickly, almost as fast as a stemmed marine while on creep, and they also have the ability to move while burrowed, but that is something I haven't seen a lot of Zerg players utilize effectively yet. Hopefully we will see that added to their player arsenal in order enabling them to get more damage onto Marines and Marauders and other units like that. We are at an engineering bay. I do not believe, no, we do not have an armory. So with no armory in sight, excuse me, with no armory in sight, the Marines and the Marauders maximum upgrades will be 1-1. 2300 versus 1875, but total resources definitely in favor of Jsung. Jsung having about 3000 or 3200 now compared to 2800. Zerglings on the move once again, and the Marines and the Marauders simply just stimming, and now going to come into this location here and try to shut it down. It looks as though the Marines and the Marauders are going to come in and just take down that one issue without any real issue at all, as those spine crawlers are now getting focused down. However, Zerglings are going to be able to swarm in just a moment. Infestors now making their way over, and I believe as soon as they have Infestors hitting with that fungal growth, and yeah, two fungal growths completely shutting down this Marine Marauder group here. and now all the drones are safe. Yes, another fungal growth, and medevacs, unfortunately, are armored units. One more fungal growth will take down those 2 units there, and yeah, down they go. So Infestors completely taking down that army there, 2650 versus 2425 in terms of losses, as multiple creep tumors are being placed down so that the Infestors can slime and slither their way across even more dangerous landscape. No hatchery yet here at the high yield mineral location, which is a bit of a surprise, as Jsung, it would be a very natural place for Jsung to try to expand now. We should be seeing perhaps a change in tech now, especially with the number of Infestors, and it looks like what SlayerS's BekHo wants to counter it with counter Infestors with Ghosts, and those Ghosts are going to be able to get some EMP shockwaves off, but a lot of those Infestors have more than 100 energy, so some of them may be able to even get off a fungal growth, if not a fungal growth, and, excuse me, as more drops still coming into play. So yeah, Korea Pro's trying to handle it, trying to be everywhere at once with these medevacs. The medevac is just going to sit there, no spore crawler, so that medevac doesn't have to worry about very much, will be able to return home. Jsung realizing it's not worth the 4 fungal growths or 3 fungal growths plus an infested Terran in order to shoot down and destroy a medevac, because that is a lot of energy in order to do so. More creep tumors being laid across the map, queens in position, just trying to build a very strong creep highway, and Jsung looking very, very strong at this stage in the game. You can see that this command center nearly completed. 2 Zerglings down over here would be able to run up very easily. 67 drones versus 56 SCVs. BekHo should perhaps train up more SCVs and try to get back into this game. He is behind economically speaking. He does have a larger mineral army, but a significantly weaker gas army. Marines and Marauders are now upgraded 2-1. 2-2 upgrades now coming in, as we are also getting Neural Parasite. So as Neural Parasite comes online, the Zerg units, perhaps if he tries to Neural Parasite a medevac, will be able to heal his own units. I don't know if you can actually pick up an Infestor into a medevac while it's being neuroparasited, and what happens when it switches. Does the Infestor go back to the other side? Not 100% sure. Bunkers now being placed down. Bunkers, mass Marines, 2-1 upgrades, no siege tanks just quite yet, as another command center now being placed down. We are going to get, what, missile turrets and no real units. I'm not quite sure why those Infestors did spin around for just a moment, and now in comes a lot of infested swarm eggs. So a lot of infested swarm eggs, EMP shockwave depleting a lot of energy there, and now just mass infested Terrans, EMP shockwave getting more damage continually, as those Infestors perhaps should be trying to burrow in order to get away, and now fungal growth finishing off another group of fungal growth there. Mass Infestors dealing a lot of damage across the board, and now perhaps they should be trying to burrow, trying to run away. Another fungal growth there, and those Infestors are significantly faster on creep. We'll see if they're going to be able to run away. Yeah, finally getting onto that creep, and now leaving a little bit of a slime trail, but the Marauders are not going to slip on that, and the Zerglings are going to be able to finish that off. Taking a look at the losses, Jsung did lose a lot in that engagement. You have to remember that Infestors are very expensive units. 100 minerals, 150 gas. In comes another group of fungal growth, and those Infestors now trying to desperately run away once more. The Marines and Marauders are fighting back, and now the losses were against Jsung. So Jsung, even though it felt like that was a decent trade, it was not a decent trade by any stretch of the imagination. 3,200 now. The game is getting even closer, and in fact, BekHo has a stronger army. Those infested Terrans didn't deal as much damage as Jsung would have liked if he had actually chain casted fungal growth on top of those units time after time. I think more damage could have been dealt, and it would have even locked more of the units on the far side, because fungal growth does make units become stationary. Jsung now currently sitting on 75 drones compared to 63. Both sides macroing up, but now with level 3 weapons upgrade compared to the level 2 ground armor upgrade, Jsung is going to have a very difficult time trying to combat the very, very high firepower of that Marine Marauder Ghost army. The Ghost getting a couple critical EMP shockwaves off, saving a lot of hit points and a lot of life by depleting the energy on those Infestors. I keep on seeing that the Terran infantry is started, and then it doesn't, the progress really doesn't move on it. So yeah, 220 seconds or 200 seconds left to go. So 3 more minutes in the game at the 23-minute mark. as both sides just trying to play it safe. It is going to be 4 base Terran versus 5 base Zerg. Mineral patches here still in existence. Are we at Hive Tech? Yes, we are at Hive Tech. We could be getting a lot of spine crawlers now being added to the army. So the spine crawlers will be able to just be massed and then slowly move their way forward. Jsung with 20 infestors. So 20 infestors, that is a lot of damage to be had. If each of those infestors just cast 1 or 2 fungal growths, it can almost lock down this entire army when it tries to move in. But the key question is going to be, are we going to get any ghosts to get some EMP shockwaves off, depleting all of that energy? The infestors now trying to move away. Zerglings do not want to try to engage, and with no banelings to melt away the rest of the marines, this is not going to work out very well. There we go. There's 1 fungal growth. EMP shockwave depleting all that energy, and another fungal growth now coming in, and another fungal growth coming in, and more EMP shockwave, another fungal growth coming in. So just chain casting fungal growth across this entire Marine Marauder army. A lot of EMP shockwaves, but Jsung definitely the victor in this particular battle. Is he going to be able to get another round of fungal growth on top of these medevacs? There you go, taking them all down, and now you can see the resources lost by Korea Pro's or account BekHo, now losing 13,450 resources compared to 11,000. So yeah, heavy losses there, as Jsung now able to just replenish all the energy on his Infestor. So that was a really good trade. Infestor energy for an army of Marines and Marauders. Marines and Marauders now once again on the move, looking to deal more damage. SCVs, for some reason, 6 of them activating a Zelnaga Watchtower, as opposed to just 1 or 2. And now in comes this drop. The Infestor is over here, and will it be able to drop those units in time? Marines and Marauders are coming in now, dropping the rest of those units. Are we gonna get a fungal growth? Wait for it. There you go. There's that fungal growth, and now another fungal growth coming in. Zergling's now gonna just be able to swarm in the rest here, and this drop is just going to be completely destroyed before any serious damage is dealt at all. 4 base play compared to 5, for some reason still has not decided to take this particular expansion. Yeah, so still has not decided to take this particular expansion or clear out those destructible rocks. Jsung has such a large army, and he has a large cache of minerals that he should be able to easily just even by trading blows, 29 infestors, an army purely of infestors, and now Zerglings being hatched as well, but a lot of banelings now being added in. So these banelings, many banelings, 56 in production. Once those units are stationary, the banelings are going to come in and clean up, and that is going to be very bad news. But no movement speed on those banelings just quite yet. You can see the personal cloaking now being researched as the armies are now moving out. Banelings trying to move in here, and there's that fungal growth hitting and destroying many of those ghosts right there. That was huge, as the infested Terran and banelings are just suiciding their way into this group here. The infested Terrans now going to try to drop some even more fungal growth here, but there is a planetary fortress. A planetary fortress cannot get destroyed by infested Terran very easily, just because of the sheer amount of splash damage that the planetary fortress can do, plus the base of 2 armor. And now those infestors desperately trying to run away, as a lot of damage has been dealt. More infested Terrans over here, and it looks as though these units are just going to slowly pull back. Scanner Soup revealing all of those infested Terrans or infestors, and now running away. Nuke now being built, as the Terran player once again almost getting back into this game. This is getting very close, as there is 1 burrowed Zergling blocking this particular expansion, not allowing this command center to land just quite yet. Zerglings have cleared off this set of destructible rocks, so only 1 more base is open on the south side of the map, and then if he wants more minerals, he will have to go to the north side of the map in order to do so. Zerglings now still trying to swarm, trying to find their target. It looks like this command center should be upgrading to an orbital command at any time. Zerglings surrounding and not taking down that one particular ghost as a fungal growth. Yeah, hitting a lot of those medevacs even further. The ghost now trying to come back in. Not enough energy for an EMP shockwave. The Terran, yeah, he could just... What is that ghost trying to do? The ghost realized, wait, I'm going to EMP shockwave. I got 70 energy. Ghost now returning home, and now cleaning up the rest of this creep highway, as the Zerglings now perhaps looking to find their target, not even bothering to take down a Marine on the way, as Corruptors are now being added, and as those Corruptors are going to morph into Broodlords. Jsung, I believe, is going to have a very happy time with those Broodlords. Broodlords, when unopposed, for example, when there are no Vikings to counter them, deal a lot of damage. Marines can try to run up and get underneath Broodlords. The problem with that is fungal growth stops Marines in their tracks, and once a Marine gets attacked once after a stim pack with a fungal growth, its damage is nearly completed. Infestor is still on the move. 22 Infestors, more Broodlords now being added to this army as another planetary fortress coming in. Perhaps Ghost with Snipe will be the only thing that can really slow down these Broodlords, as Broodlords have a decent amount of hit points, and they are now moving off to the north. But Mass Cloak now coming in, and how much damage can be dealt? Currently, Ghosts are just wandering around. EMP Shockwave depleting all the energy on multiple Infestors, but those Ghosts were revealed. Broodlord's now going to get cleaned up. Zerg is now trying to retreat, and these Infestors do have enough for perhaps 2 to 3 more fungal growth. EMP Shockwave, depleting another round of energy there as those Infestors are having trouble. Another group of Infestors coming in order to try to fungal growth and finish off the rest of this army. More Infestors now coming into play, and it looks as though this army needs to sit over here and perhaps try to just heal up. That is a lot of medevacs in the air, but that is a lot more damage that he needs to try to heal up off of those units. Infestors, none of these 12 Infestors have enough energy for a fungal growth at this stage. That's going to definitely be a problem. He probably thinks that he has enough. Those Infestors are just simply walking in, absorbing damage, and now getting destroyed. And that was an absolutely just critical mistake by Jsung, and I think Jsung is now starting to lose this game. If he was able to take down the rest of this army, this would have been a very expensive army. And now Banelings trying to be hatched, but Banelings are not going to find their target in time unless the Infestors get another round. No additional fungal growth, as more Ghosts were able to come in and get another round of EMP Shockwave. Banelings now melting away the rest of the Marines, but there are still a good number of Marauders. Infestors now walking away, and Jsung, I think he realizes that this is going to be game. Yeah, Jsung, realizing that he should have ended the game way earlier, just says GG here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay.